Looking forward to having our next guest on. She's joining us in studio. She signed with WWE back in 2022, was a part of the NXT scene for about 3 years. And then we found out somewhat abruptly that she was leaving. She posted on her social media that she was offered a new contract and chose to turn it down and to go her separate ways and see what else is out there. She was a great soccer player at West Virginia. Actually, grew up in Syracuse, which is a part of the country that I know very much about. Went there for 3 years. It was a great time. And now we wonder why, and we wonder where she goes from here. She was known as Jazmyn Nyx on WWE NXT. In real life, she's just Jade Gentile. You know her as Jazmyn Nyx, unless you were a big fan of the West Virginia soccer team or perhaps the Baldwinsville High School, actually the Charles W. Baker High School in Baldwinsville, New York. Anyway, without further ado, let us say hello to Jade, who is kind enough to join us right here and now in studio. There she is. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Thank you
to
for
meet you as
joining
well.
us.
Yeah, thanks
it's
for
a
having
pleasure. From Syracuse.
Yeah, from Syracuse.
Or from that
upstate.
area?
Yeah, Syracuse.
I went to Syracuse.
No way.
I went to Syracuse University, yes.
That's awesome.
Probably, well, I went there 01 to 04.
Okay.
So you were not.
Yeah.
You were a
I was
little
born in
bit,
1998.
Oh, my dear. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Baldwinsville is in Syracuse.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of next door.
It's like 15 minutes outside of Syracuse.
Okay.
But
And why'd you go to West Virginia and not SU? Was that a big deal? Was that a controversial
yeah,
thing?
I mean, obviously Syracuse would be nice because I'm obviously right at home, but I didn't want to be at home.
You didn't want to be home, okay.
No.
You didn't even apply?
No.
Okay.
But I trained there. I trained at the facility. Like, my coaches worked there. So it was like, you know, I was already at home my whole life. So I was like, I'd rather get out and experience something else.
Yes.
But, and also the offer for WU was the best offer I had. So
Okay.
I had to take it.
It all worked out,
Yeah.
and life has been very interesting for you, I would imagine.
Very interesting.
Is this your first chat since leaving? I know you did the video. Okay, it is. So I
It's my
appreciate
first
you.
one.
Okay, thank you for coming.
thanks for
And
having
so
me.
let's get into it. So 2022, you're actually in Nashville at the tryouts.
Yep.
I was at that tryout, by the way.
No way.
Just watching as a media member. I think
you
that
remember
was.
me?
I unfortunately, can I tell you the only thing I remember is Dwight Howard being there.
Yeah, he was.
He was, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Were you a part of that thing with Dwight Howard? I know like they had you guys separate and it was multiple days, but were you interacting with him at all?
No, not really. He said hi to everyone, but
Okay.
we weren't really interactive. He just took pictures with some people after, but no, it
So-
was really cool though.
So you're a soccer player. You go to
Yep.
West Virginia. You have a great career there, and then you're playing over in Iceland.
Yeah.
So how do you end up in Nashville to be a part of this tryout in 2022?
Yeah, that's honestly the craziest part is I obviously was in Iceland, did not expect my career to end in any way. I was probably going to do it till I couldn't anymore. And I got reached out by a recruiter for WWE, and they actually DM'd me.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, this is kind of sick.
Just out of the blue.
Just out of the blue.
Okay.
Based off of my Instagram, I guess, the image I had. But they DM'd me and they were like, hey, we'd love you to come out to Nashville and try out. And I was like, okay, like, is this a joke? I really thought it was like a prank. I was like, someone's pranking me. But I ended up obviously telling my coach, I was like, hey, like, I have to leave for this opportunity. Like, I'm sorry.
This
Gotta
is
go.
mid-season?
This is like rounding the end of my season.
Okay.
It's like I can't come back for another season. I've already had 2 seasons here, but this opportunity is too big to pass up. So I ended up leaving and literally dropped everything I had. Soccer has been my whole life, obviously. Dropped everything and went to the tryout and made it. And
What was
it's
your
crazy.
and here you are playing? This is over at West Virginia, right?
Yeah. Yep.
What position, by the way?
Outside forward.
Okay. How many goals?
I had more goals after Elding in Iceland, but I think I can't remember that was a while ago.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
I can't even remember.
I
but
put you on the spot. We
But I
actually
was
have some
more-
great highlights of you in high school.
Do you?
Do we have these guys? Let's see. Dramatic? No,
Oh
that's a
my God.
picture. That's a picture.
That's in Iceland.
This
yeah.
is in Iceland.
Yeah, freezing. It was freezing there.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Is that you?
yeah, that's me.
That's a nice little
That's
goal.
baby me.
This is high school right here,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I was definitely I had a really good high school career.
Look at that cross right there. Wait, are you the one scoring?
I'm right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you are. Oh,
Number
nice little
2.
finish, number 2. Okay. Why number 2? Any particular reason?
I don't know. I just always been number 2 since
Okay.
I was little. So I just kind of kept it throughout my whole career.
Look at these highlights right here.
Yeah.
Is this what got you to West Virginia? Did you put this together?
Yeah, it was definitely my high school, mostly my club, which obviously you don't really have highlights from club, but club soccer was obviously a big reason why I got recruited, because college coaches will come and watch your games. And I actually got the opportunity to go to Germany, France, Italy to play when I was like 14, 15. And it was basically just an Olympic developmental program. And they select a team. You go out for like a camp and they select a team, and that team goes and travels and plays out there against other teams. So it was really cool. I think that kind of set me up for obviously where I am now when I went to WU and then when I went to Iceland.
Who got you into soccer?
Well, I have 3 older brothers.
Okay.
So they played, all through their whole childhood. They went to college as well, and for soccer, and they kind of got me into it. I've always played with the boys, grew up playing with the boys, so it was kind of just second nature to me, but yeah.
Travel soccer is a big part of my life now because I have 3 kids.
Oh, yeah.
13, 11, and 8 is the daughter, so she has 2 older brothers, and she's just getting into it now, and sort of reluctantly, but everyone's forcing her to do it, so hopefully...
That's kind of, I feel like I was kind of just forced into it. Obviously, I loved it, but like it was just... You had
Initially,
to do it.
you're like, what is going on here?
Exactly.
3 practices a week. She's like, I just want to play with my friends.
Just... You had
Initially, you're like, what is going on here?
Exactly.
3 practices a week. She's like, I just want to play with my friends.
Yeah.
So I understand this very much. So you have a great career. You're in Iceland. By the way, women's soccer in Iceland, big deal?
For Iceland, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
What is
it's very
life
big in
like
Iceland.
over there?
Well, when I went, it was COVID.
Oh, wow.
So it was a very interesting experience for me. I actually lived in Tampa, Florida before I went out there. So I lived there right after I graduated. Couldn't walk because I was just chilling. I graduated and I was like, okay, what do I do with my life? Soccer teams weren't really reaching out because of COVID, because you can't travel during the time. So I was like, okay, like what do I do now? And I got reached out by a recruiter again for Iceland. I was like, Iceland? I've never even heard of Iceland. I'm like, okay, are you sure? They're like, yeah, it's a great opportunity, whatever. So I went out there, and again, like I was the only American out there at the time. Obviously, they recruited some other Americans after that, but I went out there. I lived on a farm in someone's attic.
Wow.
So, and obviously it was during COVID, so I had to quarantine in my house for like 2 weeks. Couldn't talk to anyone. Literally, I had horses to talk to.
Wow.
That's the only people I saw were horses and cows. But yeah, it was really cool. It was a really cool experience.
Were you homesick?
Not really. I feel like I've always been away from my home. Like I went to WU, I traveled as a kid, so it kind of was just normal for me. And obviously I was living out my dream. I was playing professional soccer, so I was really okay with everything that happened, and everything happens for a reason, so it was fun.
Did you have the sheep's head over there?
The sheep? No.
Well, I know some people from Iceland. There's some fighters there, and they tell us about the sheep's head that they eat.
Yeah, no, not for me.
You didn't try the cuisine, the local cuisine?
No, I mean, there's a lot of fresh fish, which got me into fish more, but there was like baby lambs crossing the road. Like I can't, you can't see cute. That and then go eat it. But no, it was really cool.
So in the end, you were there for about 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get the call. Are you familiar with WWE when you are?
I've definitely obviously heard of it. Growing up, I've heard a lot of it. I watched clips here and there, obviously through social media, but I wasn't familiar with obviously the whole concept. Like I wasn't watching every single week. Obviously I grew up with brothers, so they would have it on here and there. So it was definitely new to me in that aspect. And obviously I grew a respect for it being in the industry. And obviously all that I've learned so far, I'm like, wow, like I put it over. So every time someone asks me about it, like, I'm like, you don't understand. Like, it's been the craziest experience, like best experience of my life. Like, you really can't expect these things that have happened. Like the experiences I've had have been what's made me who I am, basically.
You even speak like a pro wrestler now. You say, I put it over.
Yeah.
That's very, that's
See,
a pro
it's just
wrestler.
natural.
Yeah. Because you wouldn't say that 5 years ago.
Exactly.
These are the terms.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get there to Nashville. What What do they put you through? What do you have to do to?
So there was a lot of in-ring cardio, so running the ropes. That was a wake-up call to me. I didn't even know. I thought they were like springy and like soft. Nope, they're cables. So automatically I was like, what? People like hit these like every single day. So we ran the ropes. We did a lot of bumps, which was new to you. don't normally just fall backwards. You know, It's not a natural thing to do. So I think just experiencing that, I was like, oh God, like I'm in for a wake up call. And then we did 3 promos. There was like one as you had to be a babyface or a heel. And I got a babyface promo. So I had a promo I had to cut in front of everyone.
On the spot?
Yeah. It was, well, that one you got the script and then you got home and, you did it, or back at the hotel, you did it the next day.
Okay.
But on the spot was your intro promo. So they would call you up one by one and you had to do like a 60-second intro promo. And they were just like, yeah, just get up there and tell us about yourself. So that was like the scariest one for me because I'm like, okay, well, am I supposed to be saying like, what do I say?
Yeah.
How much do I say? Like, I just didn't know yet at that time. But
who are you talking to? Like, who's this in front of?
It was 60 people, I think, on the tryout. It was Paul Heyman.
Oh, wow.
Triple H. Bianca Belair came for a little bit, and I'm trying to remember who else was there. Basically,
these are very important, notable
people, and I'm sitting there like shivering in my boots because I didn't know what to expect.
Were you super nervous?
Yeah, just because I've never been in that environment before. Obviously, it's a huge culture shock. I grew up playing soccer. There's no speaking.
Right.
You're just running. Like there's nothing that you have to kind of. I mean, it just came second nature to me. But now everything's brand new. New people, new movements, new everything. So it was a lot to take in, but again, it was just the experience itself was amazing. So I think I was just trying to soak it in. I'm like, oh, whatever happens, happens. Like my parents were there. It was my birthday.
Oh, wow.
And it was on my birthday that they told like everyone who made it. So
how many people made it from the tryout?
I'm trying to think how many girls. I think it was 6 girls and 5 guys. That could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was around that number.
Do you say yes right away, or did you have to think about it?
No, I said yes. It was an automatic. I already went into it knowing that like I was expecting to make it because that's my mindset. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it. Like that's just how it is, and that's kind of what happened. I kind of spoke it into existence. But it was definitely nerve-wracking. I actually cried in my it was a table, it was Triple H, and they bring you in and they sit you across from Triple H and he's like, here's your contract, like, do you accept it? And I'm just like, yeah.
Oh my God.
It was so embarrassing looking back at it, but it was a really cool experience, and like that just shows you how much I already had passion for it. And, I've been there for 3 days and I was already like, oh my God, like this is my life. Like that's my whole mindset changed. So I already was preparing for it then. And obviously now here I am. And it's kind of crazy to remember those times because a lot has happened within the past 3 years. But
the team in Iceland, when you tell them that you're out, do they try to convince you to stay or?
Yeah, they were like, oh, are you sure? Like, how do you know? Like, whatever. They're like, oh, John Cena. I'm like, yeah. And, but obviously I am very happy that I made that decision because everything happens for a reason. And, I did that path. Now I did this path, everything kind of came together. So
how quickly does life change after you accept that contract? Are you moving to Orlando right away? What's happening?
So after that, we had a couple months. I think my tryout was in July, my birthday. And then October, we moved out there. So you go and you look at apartments like a month before and do your physicals and stuff like that. And then after that, you move out there. And then you're there.
And then it's every day, performance center.
Yep. So I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much goes into it because even before you're on TV, like you're in there every single day training twice a day. You have promo class, so like acting classes, and you have lift every day, and obviously coconut shows, so like live events and stuff like that every weekend. So it automatically, like it was natural for me because coming from a college professional like athlete standpoint, you kind of already do those types of things, but this was not even comparable to what I've been through, because now there's another dynamic into it. It's not just putting your body on the line. It's now like mentally, like you have to mentally and emotionally be in it, and promos and things that like you're not used to, obviously. So it was a lot, but obviously the learning experience was worth it. And yeah.
Who are your coaches? Who are your mentors during this period?
So I had a lot. Norman Smiley was my first coach, best coach ever.
You like them? Legend from WCW. You ever watch his old stuff?
Yeah.
Dancing stuff?
Yes. Oh my God, I love it. We always bring up videos and show him. He's like, no, stop it. But yeah, I think he was a big game changer for me. Obviously, just coming in, having no wrestling experience and learning from the best. Technique. Everything that he taught me was just like crucial for where I am and where I was on TV. So he was a big one. I had Johnny Moss. He eventually became my coach after Norman, and like just it was kind of like back and forth. You kind of switch coaches here and there. This schedule changes, and you go from, which is nice because you get to learn from everyone. And then obviously our head coach Matt Bloom. He was always there, watching, giving us critiques from the side. So it was nice to have basically all eyes on you at all times and just like help all around the board. You know what I mean?
Who comes up with Jazmyn Nyx?
So they basically, whenever you're ready, because it's not an automatic guarantee you're going to be on TV. There's a lot of people training like every single day to get on TV.
Right.
So I think whenever they realize, okay, like she's improving, she's, working hard, whatever, I think she's ready for TV. So they reach out to you and they ask you like, what names would you want? Like, give us a list. And some people, they'll give a list and they don't pick from the list. It just depends on what they want and what they see you as. So I put Jazmyn on there. I had another name, I can't remember what it was, but Jazmyn was like my top two. And they were like, okay, we like Jazmyn, we're gonna go with that. Like, do you like it? And I was like, yeah. And that's how it happened. I'm like,
any
all right,
particular reason?
So there's like, the Bratz dolls. There's like Barbie dolls and Bratz dolls.
Okay.
I always loved Bratz dolls growing up, and there was a Bratz doll, Yasmin. And I just really liked that name, and I was like, okay, well, I feel like Jazmyn fits me more than Yasmin. So I kind of just went with Jazmyn.
Okay.
But everyone compares me to like a Bratz doll. So I'm like, okay, this kind of works, for my character and everything. But yeah.
And how long do you start to feel like you've got this? Like you're figuring it out. It's starting to become second nature. It's starting to become easier. You're comfortable. How long does that take?
Never.
Never. You never felt that way?
Of course I just felt like I had so much to learn. Like I never felt content with where I was because, I've been doing it for 3 years. Like it's soccer. It took me, I still haven't like perfected my craft, and it's been 15 years of playing. So I feel like just being there and learning every day, even being on TV, I'm learning like from my mistakes, and I'm like, okay, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. So I feel like obviously certain things came second nature, just, certain body movements that you do, bumps, things like that. But in terms of like feeling like I was 100%, like, no.
No. And I don't mean 100% because 100% would mean you're like on the main roster.
Right. I know what you mean, like more second nature.
Yeah. Because it's very sort of foreign to you, right? Early on.
Very foreign. That's kind of, that's what I mean. It's just so foreign that it never felt like it was just like easy, which I like. I like a challenge. I like to learn. And I think being put in that uncomfortable environment every single day helps you grow. And that's why I always put myself in uncomfortable environments, like even going to Iceland and like not many people, like they spoke English, but that was their second language. So I had to kind of make my own, So I feel like it was coming from that straight to this, it was kind of like one uncomfortable situation to another, but in the best way possible. You know what I mean?
When you're over there and you're training, but you're not on NXT, do all of you still go to the shows and see what's going on backstage? Are you observing? Is that what they make you do?
Yep. So, especially like live events, everyone goes to those. You watch from the back. Same thing with TV, NXT TVs. Like you go in the back and you watch. So you're always learning from other people and like, oh, okay, like, you know, and also you have to know what other people do so you don't do that. Like you can't be trying to do the same thing as other people. You have to be your own individual, and it's very important to watch and see like, okay, this person's doing that, like let me do this different or let me do that different. And obviously you're just learning from the best, so you know you're like, okay, well they're very successful, how can I do that? You know what I mean?
First time on TV, what was that like?
I feel like it was just exciting more than anything. I thought I was gonna be really nervous, but I was just like, oh my God, this is like, I'm finally doing it, because you work so hard to get to that point. And finally, like Jazmyn was able to be presented how I wanted her to be presented. So I feel like it was really, really cool. And just like looking back at how that feeling felt to whenever I had my last match on NXT, I was like, wow, like I grew so much. You know, like I went out, I started off as like more of a manager role, just based off of obviously like I'm the rookie and I had my vets, you know, like they were the vets, they're leading me through, they're teaching me, they're helping me. So like I kind of had to play like that role, which I was. So like it was very second nature to play that, you know, like I'm like, okay, like I'm just here, whatever. But it was definitely scary, you know, like you're like, okay, how do I get better next time? And, you know, obviously there's a lot of critiques, not only from other people, but like yourself, you know? So I think just learning from literally every single Tuesday I had, I was like, okay, now next time I'm going to do this. Next time I'm going to do this. And like, you just grow. And I was obviously, like I said, new. So if I'm going on TV and I'm new, I'm not, things aren't second nature yet. Like I have to experience to learn. And the only way you learn is being on TV every Tuesday, which I was for 2 years straight. So
listening to you right now, you seemed into it. You seemed passionate about it.
Yeah.
You seemed willing to learn and grow.
Yeah.
You seem excited about it, which leads me to the obvious question. Why aren't you still a part of WWE? Why did you decide to leave?
Yeah, I mean, I truthfully can say I was not expecting to leave. Like I wholeheartedly felt like this was going to be my life. I was ready to put in the work and, you know, see where my journey took me. But it came down to like making a living, and everyone needs to make a living, and some people's living looks different than others. And for me, it was like after my 3 years and being on TV for 2 years, I expected there to be some sort of compensation, just, you know, for the work that I put in, and it didn't end up that way, and that's okay. And, you know, that's why I had to part ways, but it was no like bad blood or anything. It was just, okay, like I can't make a living on this, and like I value myself in this way, which you guys might not yet, but you know, who knows, in the future value goes up, and you know, if they want me back, I would love to go back. But it was just in that time, in that moment, it felt like the right decision for me. And again, didn't want it to be, but you know, you got to do what you got to do.
How does that work? They come to you with, so your deal's up after 3 years?
Yep, so at my 3 year
they come to you with a new offer.
Yeah.
You obviously aren't happy with the offer. Do you propose a new number?
Yeah, so it was honestly like kind of a long process for me, because it was like a back and forth situation. But yeah, basically they reach out, they say, you know, here's what we are offering you for the next 3 years, and you either accept right then and there or you try to negotiate. And I try to negotiate, and the offer stood as it was. Went back a couple times, like, oh, like, what about this? No, offer stands. I'm like, okay. And if
no budging,
no budge. And
how far apart were you
from
what you wanted and what they were offering?
I just wanted any compensation. I felt like after 3 years,
when you say compensation, they wanted to pay you, so that's compensation.
Yeah, so
you wanted a raise, right?
I wanted a raise.
Yeah,
yeah.
But like, how big was the gap? Like, were you like, you know, miles apart, or were
No.
you thought that they could meet you?
I felt like there definitely could have been like a meet in the middle, but after I realized there was no budge, I was like, okay, like that's kind of where it stands. Like, there's nothing else I can do or say. It just was like, okay, any sort of raise will do. And it was no raise. So.
Was this the same number that you were making the previous 3 years?
Yeah.
So it didn't go up.
Right.
And you were hoping for something higher.
Just based off of, like people who are coming in, obviously me came in at that rate. And after 2 years of being on TV every single Tuesday, working for TNA as well, I felt like maybe, a raise would be understandable. And,
Did you ask why?
Yeah, but I didn't speak to like anyone. I spoke to the mediator.
Got it.
So me asking her, oh, why is that? Like, she's not the one who's she's just the mediator. She's the messenger. So like, I couldn't really ask her why, if that makes sense. I just felt like I felt like that was kind of just the common answer going around with negotiation, is everyone was getting paid, that amount.
So you asked around, and was that the same for your colleagues?
It wasn't talked about much, but from what I heard, I felt like it was. But, like, you never know. You don't really talk about those things with people.
Sure.
So I just figured, like, we're all at the same standpoint, and that's just how it is. Like, whatever. Obviously, some people make more, some people make less. That's just how business is. So I kind of accepted my fate. I felt like if they felt like that was my value at that time, then I didn't see it changing much, just because, I've been on TV for 2 years, and I've been doing the things I've been doing. I've been wrestling main roster people, just a lot. There's been a lot that's put into it. So I felt like if that wasn't enough for like a cost of living at least, then I just didn't think that, I was valued much. So I was like, okay, like, you have to be where you're valued.
Are you doing this on your own, or is someone helping you?
For
the negotiations, the talking?
On my own.
On your own,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been better had you had someone representing you?
Maybe.
Or is that not a thing?
I honestly, I haven't heard much about people getting
agents
or anything.
Okay.
I was under the impression whenever I first signed that you couldn't have an agent.
Oh.
In WWE, just, I don't know. I think things changed like over time, but whenever I first started, I felt like that was the case. But I think things have changed and some people have them. But again, like, no one really talks about that. So it's kind of just like, you're like, okay, every man for themselves,
Right.
like, I only know what I know, and I know what I've done. So I can only speak on my behalf. So.
And the process from like the initial offer to the end, how like you said, it dragged a little bit?
I'm trying to think. I think it was a couple weeks in advance that they reached out. And yeah, it was kind of just a process of like going back and forth. Cause like I said, there's a mediator, and a messenger. So she's going back and forth like, okay, let me see, whatever. And it came back to every time like, no, offer stands.
Do you consider, cause at that point you're probably around them, do you consider talking to one of your, mentors or higher ups in person? Like,
yeah. And I did.
And how'd that go?
Higher up, and it was obviously helpful just to hear like insight of like, okay, this is where they stand, this is why, this is what I need to do, whatever. But in terms of like cost of living and things like that, like, there's nothing you can really say. Like, everyone, cost of living goes up every year. You have to make a living. Like, if you don't get a raise, you're losing money. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I looked at it. And I just felt like at that time I had to make the decision for myself. And
so you were going to struggle, you were saying, like you couldn't live.
It felt like, yes, it felt like I was losing money. I was not gaining, in terms of, yeah, like I'm paying for my own rent. Like, I'm an independent woman, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to do everything. You pay for gear, like you pay for hair, makeup. Girls are different. Like, there's a lot of expenses, especially being in WWE. Outfits every single week. I was on TV every single Tuesday. So it was like constant, like back to back, like expenses that I felt like weren't being compensated.
And so when you're in this situation and you're starting to get a sense that this isn't moving, are you just steadfast, like, hey, if they don't meet, like, I'm out, or were you having that internal struggle of like, I love this so much,
Yes.
should I just do it? Should I just kind of bite the bullet?
There was 100% an internal struggle, and even like on the day where I said like, okay, you know, if the offer stands, like I have to leave, it was very hard for me. I was, you know, in tears. Like it was very uncomfortable conversation for me to have, and I didn't ever say it out loud. So like when I said it out loud, I was like, oh, like it just a pit in my stomach. Like, am I making the right decision? Like, is this, like, I don't know what I should do. But like I said, after I came back and looked at it, I was like, okay, like that was the right decision for me, because you have to make a living.
Right.
And that's just how it was. Like it was nothing to do with my passion, or like, obviously I had passion for it. Like you can't be doing that every single day for 3 years straight and not have passion. Like you would have quit a long time ago. You know what I mean? So it was like, I didn't foresee myself ever quitting. I didn't foresee myself getting fired as well. And like that was kind of stated to me as well, like, oh, like, well, you're not gonna get fired. Like, you know, this is a great opportunity for you. And I'm like, yeah, like 100% it is. Like I do want to keep going. I wish I could. Like I really wish I could. But in terms of how I'm living right now, like I will not be able to maintain this if, you know, the offer stands. And
in the video that you posted in your car when you announced this,
yes,
you mentioned that you wanted to do some other things and you weren't allowed to do that. What did you mean by that?
So during the process of training, whenever I was Jade, before Jazmyn, I got reached out by Love Island. And I don't know if you've watched Love Island.
I'm aware of it. And it's not because I'm ashamed, but there's been some fighters on there, Tommy Fury and whatnot. I know it's a big deal on Peacock.
So basically I got reached out by them, and I heard of someone else going on a show, and I was like, oh, like, is this something that we can do? And I was under the impression that yes, it is. Like, especially if you want to build your brand, like, you know, get followers for your brand. Like, okay, now more people are watching Jazmyn, whatever. So I thought that was a thing. And this is before I had the name Jazmyn, so I wasn't on TV yet. And I thought that would be a good route if I went and then came back. And they kind of shut that down. I was like, okay, that's fine. I understand. Like, and a couple shows reached out after that when I was Jazmyn. And obviously I turned those down myself because I'm in a different position now. I'm on TV. Like, this is my life. Like, I want to succeed in what I'm doing now. So I turned that kind of side of the world down for obviously better opportunities. And it turned out that, like, you know, after quitting, I still have these opportunities, you know, like, here for me. So I think that was something that I'm happy I didn't go do those opportunities, but I knew I had other opportunities, if that makes sense. So that's why, like, I put that in the video. I didn't expect the video to blow up like that. I didn't know. I was just saying my side. I wasn't trying to be, like, controversial. I was like, no, this is exactly what happened. This is why it happened. And there was nothing that was, like, negative, you know, behind what I was saying. So that's why I was so, like, confused. I'm like, wait, no, take it back.
The reason, did you regret posting it?
No, I didn't regret it, but I guess I regret not saying more to explain. And that's why I'm happy I get to do it on here, because, like, a lot of things were taken out of context, like they always are on social media, which it is what I know just by being in the industry. I know that's how it is. So I just kind of wanted to say my side without, you know, going on social media again and saying another thing, like, for it to be taken wrong. And I
think because it was such a short stint for you, and then a lot of people just, you know, they just kind of get released or part ways, and you actually gave a reason. And then when you say it's not what I was hoping as far as the money, then people try to pin it on them being the bad guys. How dare they? Although we don't know what these numbers are. And then you talk about things, you know, being presented to you and you can't do them, and people are then wondering, like, well, what opportunity? So there's a lot that's sort of left to the imagination.
Exactly.
You mentioned, though, you now have these opportunities. So are you going on these shows now? Is that the plan?
So there's been a couple shows who have reached out to me, and I'm still kind of in the process of seeing that out and what I want to do in terms of if I want to go that route or wrestling or both. But I'm definitely open to all opportunities, and I'm kind of just seeing them.
Well, you can't go on Love Island because a quick look at your social media would suggest you are taken.
Yes, I'm not
Unless
going on
Love Island is a work. Is it a work Love Island?
No.
Do people go on there?
Probably, actually.
Yeah, it probably is a work.
But no, in my case, it wouldn't have been a work. But in terms of shows now, I want to go on more challenge-based shows, more, what's it called, like sports related.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
which ones would fall under that category?
The challenge.
Oh,
MTV.
MTV. Oh my gosh, we have on our production team a couple guys who are like hardcore. They can't get you in. I'm just saying they're hardcore fans. They talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was still a thing. Really.
Yeah.
This
No,
show.
it's.
I remember
been
the
like
Real
40
World
seasons.
back in the day.
Yep.
Now it's like Real World Road Rules
Yes,
Challenge. You
yeah.
want to be on that?
Yeah.
I feel like you can get on that.
I feel like, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been in contact with them. That was one of the shows that reached out while I was in WWE, and obviously I was like, hey, like, can't, I'm Jazmyn Nyx.
How many of these shows reached out?
I think like 4.
Okay, and they're all just DMing you.
Yeah, so obviously my boyfriend's in the reality world.
Okay.
So he did 2 Netflix shows. So that played a big role into it. Obviously, like, they see me through his social media and vice versa. So it kind of is just a world of connections. Once you get in that public eye, then you're kind of just up for other shows, and like they put you on the list for another show. And we got asked to do like a couple show and things like that. But we're definitely more sticking to the challenge side of it, like more sports related fitness type of shows, game shows. So we'll see where that goes. But
I mentioned that you know the wrestling jargon put over, so you probably know the word heat. Like someone
Yes.
has your boyfriend has drew some heat in the wrestling world. You guys did a video one time where you're like showing him some moves, and then he mentions repeatedly that it's fake.
Right.
And this pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like Mark Henry on his radio show Busted Open, he was very upset about this. What is your response to this? He felt like it was disrespectful.
So my response is the whole point of the video, and if you watch the video, you can see that it was satire. Like him saying, and he knows, I come home with bruises and scratches, broken nose, split open nose. Like obviously he knows it's not fake, and we have this conversation every single day. Like, like if anyone, he's like, oh my God, like how do you do this every day? Like he's the first person to put it over. And his character, just like how there's heels on WWE, there's villains in reality TV, and he's a villain.
Okay.
And so I think that's kind of how people have to look at it in terms of that. But when he says it's fake, and then goes on in the video to show basically the opposite.
Yeah.
He's hitting the ropes like, oh my God, this hurts, like my back. How do you do this? Like he's taking bumps. He's getting his butt beat by me. So obviously he knows, like, that's the whole point of the video, is like basically putting it over.
I wish he wouldn't have said that. You know why? Because I did watch the whole thing, and he does say, my back's hurting, like this, wow. And then he ends it. And
then he says it. I know.
He ends it with, because he's doing a promo for like a betting thing. And so he tried to find, I know what he was trying to do.
He tried to wrap it back in, which he could have used obviously a different word from start to finish. But in terms of
said, this is scripted, but you know what? That football game is not scripted.
Exactly.
Just
something
that word
like that.
is a sensitive word.
But, and I completely understand that. And that's why I already knew, like I wasn't like mad that people were taking like that, because obviously I don't think that. I'm the first person to say, like, I think I posted a TikTok a couple weeks before that video, and I was like, when people say wrestling's fake, which is so funny because obviously here we are. But I knew from 1, the video, and from 2, like knowing what he feels about wrestling. He was a fan growing up, like his whole childhood. So he already knows it's not. So I think like obviously better choice of words for sure. But in terms of how I felt like the video was viewed, like how I saw it and how I was doing it, was like he was obviously like putting it over. But yeah, like wrong choice of words at the end.
You had a lot of injuries, right?
Yeah, but mostly before wrestling. And I think that's something I also didn't clarify in my video, because a lot of people thought that I was saying, oh, I had these 4 knee surgeries in WWE. So like, obviously you're not going to continue if you have 4 knee surgeries. I'm like, no, these were before.
Okay.
So I had 4 knee surgeries prior, just from soccer. Obviously came back, kept going, came back, played my 4 years in college, and then went and played pro even after having those. I had 1 knee surgery after playing 1 year of pro. And so when I came in, obviously in Iceland, it's a little different. They don't have the facilities we have for rehab and stuff like that. And so my leg was a little weaker, just because I didn't rehab it that good. And so when I came in, they were like, oh, let's rehab you for a couple months just so you're like completely fresh, ready to go whenever you get in the ring. So that's what I meant by like being held back in the beginning.
Okay.
So it was just a couple months of rehab, which already we're doing the basics, you know what I mean? Like we're locking up, we're running the ropes, things like that. So I didn't feel like I missed a lot in terms of the training aspect of it. But again, I was sitting there watching, taking notes from the outside of the ring.
That word "held back" can be misconstrued as well.
For sure. See, now that I'm saying things,
I know.
it's just everything I say. I'm like, why did I say that?
It's tough. Did you break your nose as well?
So I split open my nose, which I'm pretty sure it fractured during that. It was actually at Stand and Deliver. And it's funny because you couldn't even see it, but there basically like someone's arm came down and accidentally hit me in the nose, and I was just gushing blood everywhere.
Wow.
And I had to like kind of crawl to the side because I'm like, I'm not gonna be on camera with this. So I crawled to the side. No one even knew it happened, but I split open my nose at Stand and Deliver, which probably ended up being fractured. And then later on, I was in a match and same type of thing, catching a dive, and I split it open and broke it. And then I had to wear that mask.
Yeah. Surgery?
No surgery.
Okay.
I do have a deviated septum, so I can go get surgery, but I chose not to.
Okay.
I just can't really breathe.
Was that the worst injury that you had?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why, like, it wasn't crazy things. It was just like, obviously, it wasn't anything that held me out of TV. Because even with the mask, I could still wrestle and be out there. So nothing held me back in terms of that aspect. It was just my knee surgeries prior.
The other one that I wanted to get your take on, when you guys went to Disney, and your boyfriend drew some heat for that video too. So here you are having to sort of,
yes,
you're the more famous one in this world. You're the known one, and he's doing some things that are questionable or that are controversial, speaking in a certain way.
Yeah.
How did you handle that situation?
So,
did it all come your way? Did you have to answer for it?
Yeah, a lot came my way. But obviously, like I said, like I don't really answer things on social media, so I never came back and said my side of my story for any of these things because I know how they're taken and misconstrued. Obviously, words hold a lot of weight and actions do too. So I kind of have been waiting for an opportunity like this to say, like, I guess my side or my piece. But I think that a lot of things on social media are misconstrued, taken different ways, clipped. Like a lot of things are clipped. And me knowing also, like, obviously if I knew, if there was certain things that questioned my boyfriend's character and like what he did, I wouldn't be with him. And that's what I think, obviously people not knowing who I am, they're like, oh, well, why would she stay with this person if he's doing all these bad things? Like, I already know his character and I already know certain things he's done do look bad and have been taken bad, obviously, but they're not what they seem, if that makes sense. So for example, that situation, he actually, like, that was a truthfully, like, going out of his way to be nice situation.
It was?
Yes.
Really?
And that's why it's so crazy.
I saw the sort of highlight version.
Yes, the clip
like
version.
Insensitive things. It struck me like he's making fun of people, different nationalities.
Right.
So
exactly.
How is he being nice?
So in terms of like the him going up and giving a high five to the little boy, he was genuinely going up and giving a high five to him and like nothing like bad. Like he wasn't like making fun of him. Like it was just clipped. So like things that he was saying were clipped right after that was happening, and things that people were like, oh, she's laughing at him. Absolutely not. I would never do that in a million years. I've never made fun of anyone. I'm not that type of person, and neither is he. It's just clipped like that, and he's an outgoing, like, social person. So whenever he's talking about things, he comes off like that, but it's not what it's seemed to be, I guess. And like he's worked with autistic kids. Like he has nothing bad to say about anyone. So that's why I knew, like, it was just bad things were taken out of context. Two, like, things that were said, just like how I'm learning, like, words that are said are taken completely different ways that you don't mean them to be said. So like actions that he's done, words he said obviously could have been changed. He could have said different things, done different things. But in terms of like his character, that's not him. And
so obviously, I mean, he has to answer for these things, but do they come up to you and say, yo, what's up? Like, what's going on? Do you have to hear from anyone about it? I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about at your place of work.
Yeah. No, not really.
So you didn't get any sort of, heat for it or hot water?
No, I think it's because, again, like everyone knows how things are misconstrued. So I think also all these people who would come up to me, they know me already. So like they know that what was said or done wasn't a take on my character or like what I did wrong, I guess. But like you said, yeah, that's something that like you kind of separate work life from at home life, and he doesn't work there. That's not like their, place to say, I guess. And, that's it.
That last day where you get written off, you're kind of just like beaten up and tossed to the side. What was that like for you, knowing that this is the end, at least for now? People have come back. Yeah. It's happened a million times, but of this journey, of this character,
right.
That's it for you. How did you process all of that day?
It was like definitely very upsetting, just knowing that it was my last day. But in terms of how I was written off, I can't really control or have a say in that. And I think everything the what storyline I was already headed in and what direction I was already headed in makes sense of how they ripped me off. Like I was in the storyline, we were kind of already having beef. We were going back and forth, like we had arguments every week, me, JC, and Fallon. So it was kind of, it was coming. It felt like it was already coming. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of written in the story.
Anyone talk to you that day? Anyone offer any words of wisdom, advice?
Yeah, Johnny Russo, he spoke to me, and he was really encouraging and just said keep doing what you're doing, and like you never know, you can come back one day. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I would love to do. And obviously everyone, we said our goodbyes, and I truthfully there's not one person there that I can say like I had bad blood with or beef with or like we had issues. Like I feel like I kind of got along with everyone and kept good connections with everyone. So, I left with my head held high, other than the fact like, obviously it's a big culture shock leaving and knowing that I'm done for now. But I guess it's always been in the back of my head that like, you could always come back, it's not, there's not an end to everything. Like you can continue this journey if, it comes back down the road. So
do you want to stay in the wrestling business?
Yeah. I mean, I would, like I said, I'm still trying to weigh out my opportunities and see what I'm going to do, where I'm going to head, but I'm not sure in terms of like where yet, but I'm keeping the options open and, deciding from there.
Have you talked to other organizations, other promotions?
Not yet.
Okay. Are you allowed to, or how does that work?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am because I just didn't resign.
Got it.
I think
so there
it's
was
different
no like non-compete or anything like that.
Yeah,
okay.
No, it was just I'm free.
Yeah.
But I've been taking these past couple weeks just to figure out where my mind's at, what I want to do, and figuring out my life from here.
What do you think you do? What do you think becomes your profession?
I feel like I've always kind of been like a reality TV girl.
Okay.
And I feel like that's kind of how I've been perceived. Like even growing up, people were always like, oh, you're definitely going to be on like one of those shows and whatever. But I think I want to do both. Like I want to go do these shows if it presents themselves. I don't know yet. You never know in that world. But I want to continue doing social media influencing, and then obviously take up other wrestling opportunities if they come my way. Are
you interested in being an indie wrestler and going across the country in some of these small locations?
I've always loved traveling.
Okay,
I've always traveled.
You don't feel like you're above that or anything like that?
No, of course not. Like I like I said from the beginning, I'm still learning. Like I'm still trying to perfect my craft, and I don't feel like I perfected it. I wish I had more time to perfect it. So I obviously would continue wrestling if there's other opportunities there, and I probably will. I just don't know where and when and how. So I'm just still making my way.
Have you talked to any of the other people who have left about what life is like on the other side? And
there's been a few people who reached out to me and, just have put out connections and opportunities that I can do. But same thing I'm telling you, same thing I'm telling them. Like, thank you so much. Like, I appreciate it. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of help and positive feedback for me. So.
Do you watch other wrestling organizations? Are you a fan? I know you did stuff with TNA, as you mentioned.
Yeah, mostly TNA and WWE.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like, I mean, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you going to AEW?"
Yeah, that's the obvious question.
Yeah, I knew you were getting there.
Well, I mean, there's two big ones, and there's obviously some other great ones. Is that of interest to you?
I mean, I don't know.
You don't know. You haven't talked to them.
No, I have not.
Okay, they haven't reached out.
No.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm still keeping everything open. I really have no clue. I'm just kind of, I feel like I'm a very go with the flow person. So whatever comes my way, you know, that's probably what I'll end up doing.
Since you're getting an opportunity to answer some stuff, I wanted to ask you about a statement from Bully Ray on his radio show. Do you know what I'm talking about here?
So I saw, I think, a clip.
I can read it for you. Here's a recap courtesy of Wrestle Talk. If Jazmyn Nyx would have trained at a wrestling school, wrestling would have been her passion and her dream. She most likely would have stayed put and grinded it out. One thing about wrestlers, they will accept the grind to chase the dream. But when you get pulled in from soccer, MMA, football, whatever, it's not the same. You don't have that burning sensation in you, that burning passion. Like a Stephanie Vakir who told me that wrestling was her nourishment when she didn't have enough food to eat. That doesn't burn in Jazmyn Nyx. It's not the same mental state, not that same pit of your stomach grind where you need to do it, you need to make it. That's his assessment. What is your response to that? Have you ever met Bully? Have you ever talked to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really respect him. I think that there's nothing wrong with what he's saying. Like, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and if that's the opinion he got on me, then that's totally fine. Like, I can't.
Is that fair?
I think that for him, like, it's not like we know each other on a personal level, so I'm not sure if he would know necessarily if that passion does burn inside me. But when it comes from, like, obviously, yes, I played soccer and I had a passion for soccer, and I think training and doing those things, like, I had to put myself through a lot to be successful in that. And the same thing with WWE, you have to work hard to get where you're at. So I think just because my journey was a little different doesn't mean that I don't have passion or building passion for the future of WWE, like making on main roster, things like that. I, of course, had passion. So I think that was a little of like a hard take. But like I said, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. And if that's how he perceives me, then, you know, that's how it is. And that's usually what people do say, especially if they don't know athletes' journeys. Like, they're like, oh, they're just athletes, they're just coming here for a paycheck, or they're just here for the name. And like, I've never been like that. I've always been about, like, you can't do something and put your all into something if you don't have passion. And again, the stuff that I've already done and the matches I've had and the work I've put in and outside of TV, I personally don't think it's possible to do all of that and not have passion or, you know, like, love for what I'm doing.
Is it hard to bite your tongue and not respond when you hear people questioning your passion, your motives, your work ethic?
I've just never been like that. That's why, like, a lot of things have been said about me and my intentions, and I've never came back and said anything because I just don't think it's worth it. I already know who I am. I know what my intentions are. I know my character. So when people question it, I'm like, well, they don't know me. So there's nothing that, it doesn't put me down because I'm like, well, these are just assumptions. These are speculations. And again, like, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So if they feel that way, go ahead, feel that way. But I already know how I feel about myself. I know how I feel about the company. I know how I felt about my journey and how hard I pushed myself and how hard I worked to get here. And honestly, just to get where I am now as a person through my whole soccer career and all the things I had to overcome. So I think, like, the things that I've been through, you can't question my passion based off of that. But, you know,
I respect that, because when people talk shit about me, I want to defend myself and respond. So to just let it roll off.
That's the natural thing to do. But
especially someone that you had some kind of relationship, friendship, you knew him at least, right?
Yeah.
To a certain degree. And so for him to call you out like that, I was wondering, and I don't know if he's right, he's wrong. I mean, it sounds like you had passion. We've just met. that to me feels like a tough one, a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And I know that's a thing that people talk about with WWE right now because they're recruiting from sort of non-traditional.
Right.
It used to be you work through the indies, the territories, and then you make it to the big show.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, this gymnastics person, this soccer
Yeah.
player. And so people sometimes feel like some can't cut it and they haven't gone through the routes, they haven't paid their dues. And I hear this a lot.
Yeah, which I completely understand. And I've trust me, like I have so much respect for the people who have paid their dues, but that's not my fault that I didn't go that route. Like I can't go back and change how I grew up and like the journey that I've been on. I can't go back and be like, oh, please don't DM me and reach out to me about WWE because like that's just the journey I had. And of course, some people don't cut it. Some people maybe don't have passion, but in my case, that's not who I am as a person. And again, since I don't speak up for myself and I don't put out responses and go deep into that stuff, like not a lot of people know who I am. So I kind of just am like, well, I'll leave it at that. You guys can make your own assumptions of me however you want. But like I said, I think the best thing for anyone, and especially in this industry, is to know who they are. And negative comments aren't going to put you down or make you feel some type of way because you already know who you are.
So no regrets. You're happy with your decision. You're excited about the future.
Very excited.
Still watch wrestling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're still kind of up to speed?
Yeah, I'm up to speed, but I just feel like in terms of where I'm going to go in my journey and like for the indies, I guess, I am trying to figure out, you know, my path. I'm trying to figure out like how long do I need? Do I need a break? Do I need like, you know what I mean? I'm just taking these next couple months, weeks, whatever to figure everything out and kind of going to go from there.
Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to clear up? Or do you feel like we hit it all?
You hit it all.
Did we hit it all?
You did hit it all.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's
I can't
a good
tell.
thing. No, I'm happy because like I said, like I've been wanting to speak about certain things that like have been dying inside of me. I'm like, that's not true, or like that's not how it was, or that's not. But also another thing is I guess not everything you see online is true. Not everything that is put out is accurate, or like, I mean, obviously in this industry, people are meant to love and hate wrestlers, like WWE superstars. That's how it's made up. Like that's how you basically, you have to be a character. And I think based off of my character, I'm okay with that. Like you guys have a negative opinion on me. That's exactly who I was playing.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked. So it's not like I'm going to go back and be like, no, guys, don't think this way of me. Like, that's not who I am. I would not, you don't do that. You know what I mean? You play your part and that's how it is.
Are you hopeful that you end up back there, or would you be at peace if your WWE journey is a 3-year?
No, I'm definitely hopeful. I feel like I put in a lot of effort already and time, and I dedicated my 3 years and honestly more that I thought was going to happen to this company. So I would love to end up back there if I could, if the opportunity presents itself. But you know, you never know where the future is going to take you. So
what do we do now? We hang out in the 315?
Yeah.
In the queues?
Yeah,
is that what we're doing? Carousel? I don't mean me and you. I
I'm
just mean you, the figuratively.
Yeah.
Carousel Center, is it still there?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, I don't know how, but it is.
Why? That used to be my spot.
Yeah, but it went from like, it's definitely upgraded.
Okay.
But
do they still have the carousel at the top?
I don't think they have that anymore.
But it's called the carousel.
I know.
Is it not called the Carousel Center?
It is. It is the Carousel.
That was the whole thing.
Wait, is it still called that?
Oh, they changed it?
See, that's what I mean. Everything's changing,
Let's
but
find
I
out.
don't live there. I'm
I know.
now, but
you have no ties anymore? No.
I don't speak to anyone. I have 2 friends from Syracuse that I speak to.
It's called Destiny USA.
It's Destiny.
What the hell?
So you brought up Carousel, and it now I remember. It is.
No family there?
Yeah, my family's there, but I'll go home with my family, and that's it. But we don't. I mean, I go home for the holidays.
That was like the big spot for me.
It was Carousel. See, but that's what I mean. You got me confused.
Why? Because when you were a kid,
it was Carousel.
It was Carousel.
So,
okay, yeah.
but going back, it is Destiny, and I should have known that. But
what an awful
only
name,
go
by the
back.
way.
I know, it's
Destiny USA. Carousel Center was iconic.
It was.
Did you go to Q's games?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my parents have season tickets. So
okay.
I'm always there. Always.
Amazing. Well, congratulations
Thank
on a great run. Congratulations on a great 3 years, on a great athletic career as well, and looking forward. So maybe we'll see you on the challenge.
Yeah.
Maybe Love Island. Maybe not Love Island.
Not Love Island.
Okay.
But maybe the challenge.
Okay,
maybe
one of
some
those.
other
One of
game
those
shows. You never know.
game shows. Okay. Nice little tease there. Thank you very much for coming in. All the best to you. Appreciate you coming to us first. We really do
of
appreciate
course.
that, and wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, thank you so
moving
much.
forward.
Appreciate it.
We'll take a quick break, say goodbye to Jade, and then we'll be back with Bo Nickel, Boots Ennis still to come as well in studio, and of course, Andy Foster. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.